Scooby-Doo! Where are you?
Over here.
Zoinks!
Right?
Let me at him! Let me at him, Uncle Scooby! Da-da-da-da-da-da! Puppy power!
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
Hey, Ren, will you button me? Will you shut up, you fool? Yes, I shall kill you. Happy. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Doug Funny. I'm an average 11-and-a-half-year-old.
My name is Roger Klotz. Vote for this, loser.
Well, hello there, Corey. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to be alive. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation with me.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Man, I got to get right down to it, man. It's like, on average, I don't think people really put a lot of thought into how much voiceover is involved and so many different things. What in particular about this caught your attention in terms of impressionists and voice acting?
Well, I've always enjoyed voices. I mean, when I was a little kid watching cartoons, that's probably where it started. Watching Looney Tunes is probably where I really started hearing all these voices, these crazy character voices, and I'm like, somebody's got to be making these voices. This is at some point as a kid, I was like, this is somebody doing this. Like, there's somebody's getting paid to do this. And so I was like, this has to be such a fun job. And so when I started looking into Mel Blanc, that's when I was like, okay, this is the same guy doing all of these voices. And I was like, wow, that would be really cool to do that. So I just kind of, from a really young age, I started learning, just trying to learn how to do that. And then I think it really, beyond that, like I sparked even further was when I saw Dana Carvey on Saturday Night Live doing impressions of people. I was like, whoa, this guy's good.
Okay. So you got it both ways then. You got it in terms of exposure to cartoons as a kid, and also it's from the impressionist aspect of it from actors and comedians then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how old were you when you first started doing your, trying to mimic the cartoons?
Oh, I was probably 7 or 8.
Nice.
I probably wasn't very good then, but I enjoyed it. My family thought it was great. They were laughing. Okay. They thought it was wonderful, but I probably wasn't that great.
Okay. I mean, but even still, 7 and 8, and to start as a child and play around with it, even going from the age of 7 or 8 until you like 16 or 17, that's still time and practice. And, ultimately, you keep working at something, man, it starts to stick and you get good at it. So that's impressive. In terms of the voiceover, in terms of the impressions, are there other skills attached to that you would like to use in addition to the two we just talked about?
When I was in high school, I did do some like one-act play and things like that.
Nice.
But I was never really a theater kid. I wouldn't say that.
Sure.
So I've never really been the person that's like, I want to be up in front of a whole bunch of people doing something. But, behind the scenes, in front of a camera or behind a microphone, I can let loose and I really enjoy it. So,
okay.
I really enjoy the voices and learning. I really enjoy animation in general.
Sure.
It's just I think it's a medium that you can pretty much do anything with. That is not limited by, just what you can get on camera.
Sure. What's interesting too, Corey, is that a lot it's and I didn't learn it until later on, but a lot of your actors, theater actors, and as well as motion picture, do voiceover for cartoons, for anime. I mean, voice characterization. I didn't start getting off into that until I was maybe a late teenager, but I have an interest in it as well, and just the way that you guys can manipulate your voices, and I mean, it's amazing. How old were you when you realized that you wanted to pursue this dream in terms of as a means to provide for yourself and your family?
I've always loved doing it, but really only in the last year or so. I was kind of, it took a while for me. I think my family and my friends and people who have grown up around me, they were like, you're really, really good at this. Nice. And I was doing these voices around them and doing like all these characters, and they're like, you know, most people can't do this. And I was like, and I was thinking, you know, these are just people that, you know, they're friends with me. They're just telling me this because they like me. They're friends with me. They're family.
Sure.
It wasn't until I used to make YouTube videos years ago when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I made some impression videos way back then, and I forgot about them. So this has been 12 years ago.
Oh wow.
And there was one just during Christmas this last year. Somebody sent me a video, and it was Billy West, who is the voice actor that does all the Futurama voices. He did Ren and Stimpy, Doug. He was doing a video for Variety, or I think it was Vanity Fair. It was one of the, you know, and he was reviewing people doing impressions of his voices, and one of them was me, and I was like, whoa. And so and he's like, wow, that was really, really good. And he's like giving me all these, you know, compliments. And I'm like, okay, well, if this guy's giving me compliments, maybe I'm better than I think I am.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where it was like, okay. And then in the last couple months, I've started posting videos of me doing impressions, and it's really shocked me how many people have kind of started following me and just, you know, liking what I'm doing. It really shocks me. Like I was not expecting it. Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's one of those things, Corey, where we are our own worst critics, and we just get caught up, man. We live life, and we don't realize how impactful the gifts that we share are on others, or even our presence and how we affect people around us. So how did that make you feel, man, with Billy West complimenting you that way? I mean, that's pretty major.
Oh man, I was freaking out. You know, I was like, whoa, this is like, Billy West is somebody who obviously, like, when I got into loving voices and stuff, he was one of the people that I was like, this is a guy that I grew up watching his voices, you know, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, you know, he was Bugs Bunny in Space Jam. So there was so many of those, you know, and
in Bugs Bunny, Doc, he's one of my favorite voices of all.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, that's amazing. And then another, you know, when I started posting these videos and stuff, and people started following me, and one of the people that I was able to get in contact with was Bob West, who does Barney, the original Barney.
Wow.
And he sent me a bunch of emails and stuff about, here's how you get into voice acting. Here's some
nice.
You know, here's how you can you need to record a demo. Here's what you need to do. Here's the steps you should take. And you know, it's incredible to me the support of some of the people that have seen my stuff that are in the industry, and they're like, here's how you get in. Here's what you need to do. Yeah, it's amazing to me. Like, it's been an interesting experience. So I'm just starting out, but hopefully, you know, things are going in the right direction. So
absolutely. I mean, you got two very popular, you know, titans as it relates to voiceover that, you know, had something to say. One commented and another literally reached out to you to give you the tools. That's major, man. I mean, for somebody that trains martial arts, it's like a martial arts master reaching out to somebody because they see that individual has potential. So, man, that's awesome. I gotta tell you also,
it'd be like Bruce Lee reaching out and be like, let me tell you everything I know.
Right. Yeah. You know, so that's pretty special. I meant to tell you, man, I love your setup back there, man. You got the Joker, you got the Batman and Robin, you got the Donkey Kong, you know.
Oh yeah, this is like my man cave of all things. Like this is actually my home theater room, really, but this whole wall, like, if you look over here, like, I have an entire wall of movies.
Wow. Man.
I'm like, it's like a blockbuster movie in here.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of pretty much anything comic book related, movies and stuff.
Sure. Now, being that you're a fan of the comics and the films, do you ever hit the conventions as well? Because a lot of voice actors go to the conventions also. Have you?
I've been to several. I haven't actually. I've just been, you know, going as a fan. You know, I haven't done anything else. But yeah, I've been to several. I've mainly because I'm in the Dallas. I'm a little about 2 hours north of Dallas. So
Okay.
I've been to some in Dallas, some in the Houston and San Antonio area. So
Sure.
I'd love to
Okay.
go to the San Antonio or the San Diego one. That's the one I'd love to go to.
Yeah. San Diego Comic Con and the one in New York. Those are the two biggest in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the that's also an aspiration of mine as well. Maybe next year, 2024.
Yeah.
So I it's interesting seeing that Batman Joker poster in the back makes me think about not only Mark Hamill, who is arguably the best voice actor even for Joker, but the late great Kevin Conroy as well as Batman.
Yeah.
So would you say that those two individuals were influential as well in terms of your development?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Hamill, his Joker, man, is the best. I've been trying to learn how to do that Joker voice for a long time. I can't say I've got it down, but I can do it decent.
Okay.
That's why I haven't put it out there yet.
That's understandable. You don't want to serve a dish for people to eat if you don't have it perfected. I understand completely.
Yeah.
I mean, but even
yeah,
still,
Kevin Conroy was an amazing talent as well.
absolutely.
He's gonna be missed because
Yeah.
his Batman is that's the Batman voice that I grew up with.
Mhm.
He's as much as I love him though, he's my second favorite Batman.
Okay. Who would you say
My
is your
first favorite is Adam West.
Okay. Classic. Okay.
Yeah, my dad had me growing up with watching Adam West Batman. I actually have that back there is an Adam West replica cowl. So it's like a full-on cowl, and it has a
Really? Wow.
it's
Okay.
a Adam West sculpted head that it sits
Sure.
on.
Really?
It's made by
Wow.
Chuck Williams. Give him a shout out if you want to. It's Williams Studio 2 if anybody wants to go get one.
Sure. Definitely.
They're really cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting looking at it initially, Corey. I thought that was a bust, but that's a sculpted face with the actual cowl. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
looks
it's
really
a
good, too.
full-on. Yeah, it's a full-on cowl and a head and everything that it goes on.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that'll work. Do you have any studios in particular that you like to work with? Illumination, Pixar, any like fantasy studios or dream studios in your mind that you like to work with, be it even in television or in film?
Any of them really. I grew up watching Nickelodeon, so it would be awesome to if they were gonna do shows like I grew up watching, I would love that. I'm also Illumination. They just had the new Mario movie that's like the biggest thing ever right now. Yeah. And I went and saw that. I actually took my daughter. She's about to be 3 in August, but this was her first movie in the theater. We went and saw it together, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
So she loved it. Now every day she's like, "Can we watch Mario?" And I have to be like, "Yeah, well, let's watch Mario." So we put on the old Super Mario Brothers Super Show cartoons.
Oh my gosh.
But she doesn't realize there's a difference yet. So
Sure. Hey.
so she watches those, but man, she loved it. She sat through the whole thing and just loved it.
That says a lot about the quality of the film and the entertainment, because it's like for a 2-year-old to sit through something like that. That's pretty major. Okay. In terms of when you were coming up, you were saying that your family was pretty supportive. Were there any people, family-wise, friend-wise, as a matter of fact, within the entertainment industry or outside of the entertainment industry, who were some people that encouraged you in terms of either by the example that they set within the industry or the encouragement that they gave outside of the industry?
Well, personally, I mean, my uncle and my dad and my mom have always been very supportive. They've been pushing me for probably most of my adult life to do something with this, and then my wife over the last couple of years has really been there's been times where she would get a little bit angry at me and be like, "You need to do something with this. Like you're wasting this talent." And I'm like, and that's the kind of love that's like, if you really understand that, this is something you're wasting. So like, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay. So, but yeah, outside of that, I would say, the fact that some of the people that have reached out, like or the videos, people, seeing Billy West saying that, and Bob West, and the other day actually, Jeff Bergman, that does some of the Looney Tune voices now, and works for Warner Brothers, actually commented on one of my videos and said,
"Really,
great job on Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny." And I was like,
"Okay,
wow." It's stuff like that, and you're just like, that's incredible, But yeah, just everybody that's been following me and supporting me this whole time, like,
sure.
I'm still surprised that just one person has watched and liked what I'm doing. So I try to respond to like every message that I get.
Sure.
So, and be like, hey, I appreciate it. Anytime someone follows me, if I have my phone and I see somebody follow me, I try to just send them a message and be like, hey, I appreciate it, because I really do. I mean, it means a lot to me.
For sure.
Because this is a dream that I'm pursuing that I couldn't do without those people. So
that's man, that's beautiful. Just even going back to when you were saying how your wife is as supportive as she is, that's a beautiful thing, Corey, and thank you for sharing that, because I mean, on this podcast I like to share things of encouragement, things of inspiration, and that's very inspirational, because unfortunately what has a tendency of happening sometimes is, in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or a husband-wife relationship, relationships, you don't always get that kind of support. Unfortunately, we hear more of the stories about people not being supportive, so to hear that she was a little even aggressive and pushing you, like, that's really good, man. So I commend you and salute you, not only for that, but also for you having the courage to find a way to get it done, because, and I've said this before, and I've thought about it even in application of my own life, man, you have responsibilities and bills and things going on, things to do. And we had dreams when we were kids, and even when we were teenagers, but we get older, man, and sometimes the responsibilities will suffocate that dream, or we'll put it on the back burner and never really get back to it. So whenever I have an opportunity to talk to some individuals like yourself, talented individuals like yourself, that make the decision to find a way to make it happen, despite whatever trials and tribulations that come to play or come to pass, man, that's good, man. So I really thank you for that, for the encouragement that you give just in the example you set in doing it, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So in terms of your impressions, how many can you do in total?
Oh man, I don't even know. I don't even think I have a number. I was actually trying to come up with a list.
Okay. I've
only put out, I think like 13 or 14 videos at this point. I've only been doing videos online since December. So I've only put out a handful, but I have a list. The last time I started a list, which was a year or so ago, I hit about 65 or 70. So I was like, that's a lot. And then I was like, but then I lost that list, and I was like, and I start thinking about it, and I'm like, I forget that I can do some of them. And so I'm like, oh man, so I'm trying to compile a list, because I had somebody recently, I've been getting people that would say, hey, do you do customized like messages or something? And so I put that up. I have a link tree, and I put that up and did that, but then I realized I really need to have a list on there that says, here's all the voices you can choose from. And I was like, well, that's going to take a while to learn. Like, here's a whole list of everything I can do, because I don't really have that available. So I need to kind of do that. But I can do a lot of voices, and I enjoy like creating voices as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing, getting in some projects and stuff. And I have I've gotten a couple of small independent projects that I've already recorded stuff for, but they haven't come out yet. So
okay. Now, the closer that those get to releasing, will you advertise those or put it out in terms of on your social media so that we can support and view them? Oh
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of them is there's actually it's a YouTube thing. It's just called the Cassius Files. Okay. It's not a big production or anything. I think it's an independent thing, but it's I played a character. It's kind of a strange character for me to play. Actually, it's a serial killer.
Oh wow, okay.
but it's different. But sure, I'm playing a serial killer and a police officer in the same cartoon, so it'll be different.
For sure. Yeah.
So, but I channel in the police officer role. I'm channeling the voice of Adam West as best I can. So I'm trying to talking like this right here. kind of that range, you know.
For sure.
So it'll be kind of fun, I think.
For sure, absolutely. Do you have, like, in terms of the voices that you do you have a top 5 or a top 10? Your top 10, like, 5 or top favorites?
My favorite, well, I can do, my favorite ones are probably some of the ones I already posted, but Ren and Stimpy, like, hey Ren, can you button me? Stimpy, I shall kill you! And there's that, and then,
Hey, my name is Doug Funny. I'm an average 11-and-a-half-year-old.
And then Roger, the bad guy in that show.
Hey, Funny, what are you doing?
He's like a Billy West calls him. He's like a little. He's always like buzzing. He's like,
hey, Funny, loser.
And there's that, and then I love the Looney Tunes. So like anything Looney Tunes related. So like,
yeah, what's up, Doc?
And Bugs and Daffy, like with,
oh, this is the guy that we're talking to. This is the guy.
And anything, you know,
you're despicable.
You know,
that's all, folks.
So any of the Looney Tunes I love.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some others, like King of the Hill, like, oh, Bobby, what are you doing, boy? You know, stuff like that.
Just the way that you pull them out, jeez, that's impressive. I mean,
there's stuff, you know. I grew up watching all these shows, and I still watch them. So
sure. How do you, Corey? How do you practice? How do you, like, what? Tell me about the process. How? I mean, is this something that you do during the day, like when you come into your office area, studio area, and train it for an hour a day, or how do you? What kind of practice or preparation goes into such a thing?
Well, I'm not making a lot of money doing this yet, so this is kind of just right now. This is my side thing. So I'm actually working full time at a Subway, so as a manager. So so I do this at work. So I'll do voices and stuff for kids and stuff that come in sometimes. And I used to, when I managed another one, we had a drive-through, and I would do it over the drive-through, and that was fun. But yeah, my coworkers and stuff were also like, you're in the wrong business, boy. You're in the wrong business. And I was like, yeah. But hopefully at some point I'll be able to not do that anymore and be able to just do this. But that's the goal.
Hey, Corey, I'm just thinking, you said you used to do it at a drive-thru. I can only imagine pulling into like a McDonald's or a KFC. You just, the complete experience, you doing different voices or doing the Yosemite Sam or Bugs Bunny the whole time. I'm laughing hysterically.
Welcome to Subway, Doc. What can I get for you? Might I suggest the meatball sub, Doc? It's absolutely exquisite.
Now, when you, in the instances that you did that, how did that play out? I mean, if you're managing, I mean, you wouldn't get in trouble for it. But had you done that prior to being a manager? Had you done that in other places like that?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I worked in the ones that I work for have convenience stores. The Subways are within the convenience store, so I managed both at some points. So when I was doing the convenience store, it was a lot better because you get to know those customers more because they're regulars, and so yeah, those people you get to know, and so you do those voices a lot more, and they would really enjoy it. So they would come in and they'd be like, "Hey, this is the guy that can do the voices and stuff," and I'd do them for them, their kids and stuff, and they loved it. So yeah, there was always positive reactions.
Good.
And sometimes when you'd have a negative reaction from a customer, like just in a bad experience, and you throw out a voice, and then they're like, it throws them off for a second, and they're like, okay, wait a minute, and then it kind of totally derails the anger that they had.
Sure.
It kind of swaps the whole situation around.
For sure, yeah, I can see where it would. It's pretty good. Do you have a wish list, or like in terms of actors or actresses that you like to work with in voiceover?
Oh, yeah, I would love to work with Billy West because I would honestly I would love to work with Billy West just so that I can tell the guy, like, you're the reason that I got into this. Like, had you not ever made that video telling me that this guy's good. Like, this is a great, good job. Like, I would have probably never had the courage maybe to do it. I would always thought, well, I'm not really, these are just family members telling me that I'm okay at it, but I'm not really that good.
Okay.
So I think it was hearing somebody in the industry saying that I was like, okay, maybe I need to listen to what people are telling me and go, okay, maybe I am good. And then, as I start posting these videos and getting all this feedback from people, there's no negative. Like, I haven't really had any negative feedback. There's, it's all been pretty positive. So that's when I'm kind of like, okay, I'm better at this than I thought I was.
Sure. So,
and that's been a good thing to build some confidence,
Of course. Yeah. So you get, we were talking about how often you practice. So you get practice pretty much around the clock. I would imagine you probably engage with your daughter using voices. You said you do it at the job. Probably do it, messing with your wife. So you just are probably you're always Corey, but to a degree you're always in character then, huh?
Yeah, my daughter, from the time she was an infant, we've raised her watching a lot of the TV shows that me and my wife watched as kids, because everything's on Netflix, it's on all the streaming services and stuff. So we've been showing her Barney since she was little, because as much as there's been a lot of hate towards Barney through the years, it's a really positive show if you watch it. I mean, especially it's really, it's simply a show about caring and loving people and loving people for who they are, and not, if you really go and you look at that show, it's like it's got a lot of diversity, it's got a lot of inclusiveness. There's nothing negative about that show, and I think that's why people hated it so much at the time, and I don't know why, but yeah, since she was an infant, we've been showing her that, so she loves Barney, and so she actually carries around my stuffed Barney animals from when I was a kid. Oh, wow. And so from when she was little, I've been, every time she carries it around, I'll grab the Barney doll sometimes and I'll do the Barney voice to her. I'll be like, "Why, hello there, how's it going? I love you," and and I'll sing to her and stuff, and in the Barney voice, and she just loves it, so there's been a handful of times, like, where, especially when she was real little, where I'd be at work and my wife would be watching her, and she'd say, she'd take the Barney doll to my wife and be like, "Mommy, this is Daddy." And so my wife would just laugh, and she'd send me a message and be like, "Hey, your daughter thinks that you're the Barney doll."
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of funny.
For sure. But
yeah, I have a Bugs Bunny doll for her, so I've gotten her most of the dolls that I can do voices of, because she loves that so much.
Wow. Tell me about, Corey, just the process, man, of being a husband and being a father and a provider while pursuing your dream with the voiceover. Tell me about how you manage that. Tell me, how has that experience been? You kind of touched on it bits and pieces throughout our conversation, but just, tell me a little bit more about it, about the experience.
I would say, I work full time.
Sure.
I'm a manager of a convenience store and a Subway together. I'm not the full manager. I was a I was a general manager when we had the baby, and then for the first 6 months or so. But I was working from 5 or 6 in the morning. I'd head to work, and I wouldn't get home until 6 or 7 at night. So I was literally not seeing my daughter for the first 5 or 6 months, because she would be going to bed within an hour of me getting home. So I stepped down from that at that point, and I was like, I've got to be home more, and I've got to be around. I'm missing stuff that's important. This is way more important than anything, than a couple of dollars more an hour. Like, it's way more important. So I stepped down from that, and now I'm just doing like assistant managing, and so I'm only having to work like 35 to 38 hours a week. So my wife is going to school, to college, and she's doing radiology technician.
Nice.
So she's in clinicals right now. So right now our life is really busy. Like, we have, she's basically, it's like I'm here and she's here, but
Mm-hmm.
never much at the same time.
So
So we have a little bit of overlap on certain days, but
Okay.
we're basically babysitting the rest of the time. We have our daughter one time or the other. So it's busy, but it's fun. I mean, I get a lot of one-on-one time with my daughter, which is amazing. She's the sweetest little girl, and she's a lot of fun. She's has a really good personality, and she's very sweet. So it's a fun thing. There's never, you know, I didn't become a dad until I guess I think I was 26 or something, maybe almost 27. But you know, I didn't know what I was missing. It was it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's changed my life, but all for the better.
Very, very important role as well. Very important, you know, in the family. Corey, what is a word of encouragement that you would give someone that's going through a tough time?
Just stick it out, and things work out. It may not look like at that moment that things are going to work out, or that may not look like, you know, that the things are going to go the right way, but they have a way of doing so, and at least they have in my life. And most stories that I've heard. So I would say it's hard to see the thing that's over the mountain when you're in the valley. And there's lots of valleys in life. So you know, when you're in the valley, it's hard to see over that mountain, but when you get to the top of the mountain, you see everything that you were trying to get to. So
very true.
Sometimes it's just tough in the moment. I mean, there's times that are tough for me too. In fact, sometimes some of it's right now. So I've got struggles going on right now that people don't know about, and you know, everybody does. So it's you know, everybody just stick it out and just try to you know, endure and work through it. That's really all I can say.
Sure.
Don't give up.
Yeah, yes indeed. Corey, what's a word of encouragement that you wish someone had shared with you when you were facing a tough time? And this could have been when you were a kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, a teenager, an early adult. What's a word of encouragement you wish someone had shared with you?
Maybe just that it's okay to be wrong.
Okay.
It's okay to make mistakes. And people don't expect you to be perfect all the time. And that sometimes you get a better reaction out of people and out of a situation if you just kind of own up to what you did. You know, and you just say, hey, I messed up, this is me, instead of trying to put a blame on something else or you know, deflect. It's sometimes you gain some respect out of that. You gain some you know, people tend to respect you more for owning up to something you did wrong rather than, you know, pushing the blame onto something else. I've learned that in mainly in work and things like that. Sure.
Okay, good deal. Well, Corey Durham, I appreciate you taking the time, having a conversation with me, taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk to me about your journey thus far. I'm looking forward to a lot more good stuff out of you. You're definitely very talented individual, man. I love your content and looking forward to more of your content, as well as you moving forward with your other endeavors in terms of the voiceover and film, commercials, television, however you choose to use it. But I'm looking forward to seeing your gift shine even brighter.
Oh, me too. I'm looking forward to the opportunities to do that.
Yes, indeed.
I really appreciate you letting me be on here, and
you're welcome.
I really do.
You're welcome. Thank you again. You take care. Have a great day.
Alrighty, you too.
Thank you.